blood stained the white snow, and the thunder of war drums deafened the ears. When the Mongol cavalry swept in like a flood, believing they would once again crush everything in their path, they never imagined that on this frozen land, a small city would teach them the true meaning of despair with its fiery blood. Inside the city, there was only a 12-year-old prince and a ragtag army of farmers and thieves, yet they halted the advance of 100,000 Mongol horsemen. Beneath the city walls, bodies piled up like mountains, and the air was thick with the stench of blood and decay. In a rage, Batu Khan roared and ordered the city to be razed. The story begins in 1238 AD. Genghis Khan's grandson, Batu, having conquered Ryazan, Vladimir, Torzhok, and Moscow, halted his vast army 100 miles from Novgorod. In his tent, he gathered his generals to discuss the next move. The atmosphere in the command tent was heavy. A general named Amit brought the latest intelligence on Novgorod. He reported that while the city was large and prosperous with sturdy walls, the real challenge lay in the surrounding terrain. Another general scoffed, claiming no wall could withstand the Mongol horde. But Amit pointed out that the road to Novgorod had turned into a muddy swamp due to the spring thaw, making it impassable for the army. These natural barriers were far harder to overcome than any fortress. In the end, Batu decided to abandon the attack on Novgorod. He then ordered Kadan and Buri to lead the left-wing troops through Ryazan's lands, planning to rendezvous near a small town on the steppes' edge. That town was Kozelsk. Batu sent Tamacha and his men as scouts to probe Kozelsk. At the time, no one could have foreseen that this unassuming town would become the Mongol army's nightmare. Kozelsk was still wrapped in tranquility. Its people were unaware of the catastrophic storm bearing down on them. A man named Racha was stopped at the city gate. The guards told him the voivode had forbidden the young prince from meeting him. Racha, once a renowned warrior, was now a monk, here to fulfill a promise. Seeing the prince's mother approach, he handed her a book to pass to the prince. As Racha turned to leave, the young prince called out to him. The prince was delighted by Racha's arrival, but his mother held him back. In the city, Vesniana was sparring with the guard captain, Lyutobor. She had a passion for weapons and dreamed of joining the guard. Vesniana's agility matched any man's. Lyutobor, however, thought she'd be better off embroidering. Deeply in love with Vesniana, he arranged a band to propose to her. But Vesniana firmly rejected him, her heart set on a man named Moguta. Although Lyutobor was rejected, he did not give up. He firmly believed that Vesniana would fall in love with him. In the wrestling arena, Kudim deliberately mentioned Lyutobor's proposal to Vesniana. Kudim mocks Moguta as a coward, and even tells him that Vesniana made the right choice by marrying Lyutobor. The words stung Moguta like a venomous barb. The match ended with Moguta's defeat. Meanwhile, on a road outside the city, a band of robbers ambushed a grain cart. They looked ferocious, and the man in the lead had a fierce look in his eyes. He forced the two men to kneel down, his words full of insults. Semyon kept praying. At that moment, a mysterious man appeared. The two locked eyes, and the stranger left with the robbers without taking the grain. Semyon believed it was the power of prayer. Inside Kozelsk, the voivoda noticed the young prince reading. He believed wisdom and fortune suited a prince, as others would wield swords for him. The prince's mother never wanted him to interact with the people, because she didn't want the people of Kozelsk to see their prince's weakness. The voivode countered that the people needed to see their prince, strong or weak, and judge for themselves. He then revealed he knew Racha was in the city. Voivoda told her that the outpost had brought news that the Mongol army was approaching Kozelsk with alarming force. The Mongol vanguard was led by Tamacha, who harbored a deep hatred for the Rus people. His father, once an envoy, had been killed by them, fueling his vendetta. Tamacha stressed the need for karashar, human shields, for the siege. He ordered his men to gather farmers, including women and children, to use as tools of war. Barlas expressed doubts about this, wondering whether Batu would really use such brutal means to attack the city. Tamacha said firmly that he was sure Batu would do so. In Kozelsk, word of the Mongol approach spread. Radomir's father decided to head to Smolensk, but Radomir stayed behind. He admitted he was no warrior, only a silversmith crafting beautiful ornaments.
Ну да, как же. Пока вы прекрасное творите, кто-то же должен гибнуть за вас. Под мечами вражьими.
Darya, hearing of Vesniana's plight, expressed concern. Radomir's father urged her to leave, but Darya insisted on staying, skilled in healing and eager to help the wounded.
Бою я, как твоя Весняна, не обучена, но знахарка хорошая, думаю, пригодится раненых лечить.
Though Vesnyana didn't love Lyutobor, a family betrothal left her no choice. Unable to bear Vesnyana marrying Lyutobor, Moguta planned to take her to Novgorod. Trained by Racha, Moguta would join a merchant's guard. Vesnyana agreed. Kudim, watching from afar, reported this to Lyutobor. While capturing civilians, the Mongols encountered an unexpected figure, Racha. Tamacha told Barlas that Racha was once Subedi's finest slave but betrayed the Mongols, earning the name Urus Two Hands. Racha insisted he wasn't a traitor. He had simply returned to his homeland. The village was destroyed by fire and Racha was hanged on a high place. A young boy stumbled forward and cut the rope. Racha's return confirmed to everyone that the Mongols were about to arrive. The people of Kozelsk held a meeting to discuss how to deal with the Mongol threat. Some suggested holding the walls while farmers hid in the forests, as supplies couldn't sustain a larger population. Voivode reminded the crowd that this was no simple Polovchian raid, and that the Mongols would completely overrun their lands. He proposed closing the gates and burning the bridges. Then, the silent prince stood up. He cited strategies from Racha's book, pointing out that if the peasants were not accepted, they would be captured by the Mongols and made into Karashar. To deny the Mongols human shields, he ordered the gates open to welcome as many people as possible. The young prince's decisiveness and compassion stunned the nobles. This bookish boy, in a moment of crisis, showed the makings of a true leader. At that moment, the people realized their prince had grown up. Moguta and Vesnyana's escape hit a snag. He seemed to notice something unusual, so he asked Vesnyana to wait there while he went to the front to check the situation. Before leaving, he told Vesnyana that if he didn't come back, she should go back to her father immediately. Lyutobor, leading a group, intercepted Moguta and demanded to know Vesnyana's whereabouts. Moguta said Vesnyana was not Lyutobor's wife. Enraged, Lyutobor challenged him to a duel to the death in God's judgment. Moguta gradually fell into a disadvantage. At the critical moment, the sound of galloping hooves interrupted the fight. A Mongol patrol appeared. Lyutobor and his men were quickly subdued. Moguta tried to escape with Lyutobor, but Lyutobor refused. Soon Lyutobor was surrounded by the Mongols, and Moguta fled on horseback. Vesnyana was captured and brought to Tamacha's camp. Tamacha treated her like a trophy, giving her to his men. Unable to remain at peace in the monastery, Racha took up his sword and left. Determined to defend Kozelsk, he met a thief named Baranday on the road. Baranday offered to rally his old crew to join Racha's guard. At night, Baranday went alone to the bandits' hideout. He warned them that if Kozelsk fell, the Mongols would spare no one. He needed these outlaws, swift as the wind in the forest, to defend the city. Doubting his strength, the bandits challenged him, but Baranday subdued them with force. At the Mongol camp, the captured Lyutobor and Kudim were brought before Tamacha. To save himself, Kudim groveled, offering to serve the Mongols. He revealed a weak spot in Kozelsk's walls. After hearing his words, Tamacha ordered the severely injured Lyutobor to be locked in a cage. There, Lyutobor saw a battered Vesnyana, his heart breaking. While the Mongols rested, Vesnyana seized a weapon and killed the nearby guards. Moguta, who escaped back, did not find Vesnyana, but saw Racha. Baranday arrived with his men. Racha declared that those unafraid to fight would earn redemption and glory, while cowards could leave now. On the trade route, Tamacha's troops captured another group of refugees, who were the goldsmith and his son, who had left earlier. Kudim recognized them instantly. The father offered gifts to survive, but Tamacha dismissed them. He ordered the old man to be killed, and then took Radomir away. At this time, Vesniana was leading the horse with a blank look in her eyes, and the seriously injured Lyutobor was lying on the horse's back. While Vesniana was resting, a group of Mongols approached her stealthily. They did not take Vesniana seriously. Just then, a group of people appeared. The leading man asked about their identities.
Я десятник войска Козельского Лютобор. Она моя невеста.
By now, most of Kozelsk's farmers had been brought into the city. The Mongols reported the open gates to Tamacha. Barlas wanted to attack, but Tamacha refused, knowing Batu wouldn't approve. Overhearing them, Kudim approached Tamacha, revealing that the bridges were soaked in heavy oil, ready to burn if the Mongols crossed. Soon, the Mongolian army sent a small group of troops to the city gate, but they did not get too close. The voivode stopped impulsive soldiers, recognizing the Mongols' ploy to lure the defenders out and cut them off. He ordered the guards to clear blockades but hold off on burning the bridge. The Mongols sent envoys to Kozelsk, demanding that the city gates be opened and surrender to Batu. Tamacha mocked the prince as a mere child, refusing to bow to him. The prince refused to give in and asked the messenger to convey to Batu his refusal to surrender. Tamacha claimed that the little prince's grandfather had violated the laws of war and killed his father. So Tamacha vowed to kill all his relatives. Then he said that he would not kill the little prince, but would humiliate him, put him in a cage, and exhibit him everywhere.
И я отвечаю нет!
As the envoy left, Tamacha shot an arrow into Barlas's back. Tamacha apologized to Batu, blaming himself for not being able to protect Barlas. Batu swore to avenge Barlas by leveling Kozelsk. In the forest, Moguta and Vesniana reunited. Lyutobor confronted Moguta, blaming him for everything. They fought. Under cover of night, Ratshah's bandit crew raided the Mongol camp, aiming to free captives and kill Arab craftsmen building catapults. In the chaos, they freed the prisoners and signaled their hidden allies to attack. The Mongol camp erupted in disorder, catapults ablaze as battle broke out. Kozelsk's defenders saw the flames and chaos outside, suspecting a Mongol trick. The two sides fought all the way to the bridge, and that's when Ratshah saw someone she knew. Ratshah ordered the bridge burned, halting the Mongol advance. When they arrived at the city gate, Voivode formally accepted Ratshah and his army of thieves. Ratshah returned to the city, found Voivode, and explained his reasons for joining the Mongols. He explained that he did so to understand the enemy's strengths and weaknesses, as well as their methods of warfare. The Voivode accepted his reasoning. Ratshah then told Voivode that he had seen Amit. It turned out that Amit and Voivode had once been close friends. Voivode took in the seriously injured Amit, but Amit, having grown up on the grasslands, eventually left. They exchanged tokens before parting. Elsewhere, Radomir thanked Uliba for saving him, inviting him home. Radomir introduced Uliba to his sister, telling her that Uliba was his savior. Radomir wants Uliba to teach him how to use weapons. Uliba was reluctant at first, but eventually agreed.
На, спробуй.
Целься прямо в стрелу.
Triasila now worked with the Mongols, persuaded by Kudim to betray Kozelsk by revealing a secret passage.
Козельск обречен.
At night, Uliba slipped into Darya's home, smitten with Radomir's sister. He gave her a looted necklace, which she recognized as her father's. Their bond grew closer. The Mongol camp struggled, siege weapons destroyed, supplies dwindling. Reinforcements were 30 days away. Amit urged Batu to retreat to the steppes, but Batu refused. Soon, the Mongol army launched their attack. The Mongol cavalry continuously surged towards the city gates, and the fighting on the city walls was equally intense. A small Mongol unit reached the gate. The voivode ordered oil poured. Kozelsk won this battle, but all knew it was temporary. Batu's reinforcements hadn't arrived, morale was low, and supplies were gone. The Mongols besieged Kozelsk for 7 weeks, suffering heavy losses. Kadan and Buri's reinforcements finally arrived, and Batu vowed to take the cursed city. The Mongols launched an even more fierce attack. The battle on the city walls was incredibly brutal, with the defending forces suffering heavy casualties. Uliba fought like a fierce tiger, unstoppable in his onslaught. His bravery deeply attracted Darya, who looked at him with eyes full of affection. Despite the Mongol siege, the defenders and citizens of Kozelsk refused to surrender. The Mongols began to use catapults to fiercely attack the city walls. The voivode decided to split his forces, leading half of the guards in a direct charge, while Maguda stayed behind to defend the city. Knowing this was a battle with no return, he entrusted Maguda with the protection of the prince. As they began their move, Racha confessed to the voivode that he had served the Mongols out of fear and hoped his son would forgive him. The captain of the guard then led his troops out of the city gates, heading straight for the Mongol catapults. The people inside the city began to pray, seeking God's mercy and protection. In the chaotic battlefield, both sides suffered heavy losses. The people of Kozelsk were exhausted but continued to wield their weapons. A Mongol spear pierced Racha's body, leaving him too weak to fight on. Tamacha ordered Racha to be killed, but Amit refused, stating that Racha had taught him many things and he couldn't do it. So Tamacha had Triasila, who betrayed Kozelsk, kill Racha with his own hands. Ultimately, Racha was thrown into a ravine by the Mongols, left to be devoured by wild beasts. Amit found the voivode and told him about Racha's death. This time, Amit chose to stand with the voivode. Tamacha's men surrounded the two, and countless arrows were shot at them. The voivode's death marked the complete collapse of Kozelsk. The city walls were breached, and the Mongol army advanced into the city. Vesniana stood atop the ruins, singing an ancient ballad with a sorrowful voice. She seemed to be summoning the spirits of the fallen warriors for one last battle against the enemy. Every corner of the city witnessed heartbreaking farewells. Tamacha drew his bow and shot Vesniana directly. Soon, the Mongols began to advance and prepare to enter the city. Moguta became the new commander and ordered the defenders to retreat to the prince's tower. Uliba also bid a final farewell to Daria, urging her to leave with the people. He promised Daria that he would survive and find her. The city was filled with corpses as they tirelessly fought against the invading Mongol army. Moguta ultimately sacrificed himself, and Liutobor could only close the door to cover the prince's retreat. The prince was hidden in the cellar by loyal guards and then returned to the battlefield. Everyone fought to protect the prince, with no one choosing to flee. The Mongols searched everywhere for the prince, but the guards remained steadfast, refusing to reveal his hiding place. After a fierce battle, the guards continued to fall. The Mongol army left no survivors in their wake. The last resistor remaining was Liutobor. The traitor Kudim forced Liutobor to reveal the prince's hiding place. Liutobor remained defiant until the end and was ultimately pierced by multiple swords. In the cellar, the young prince and his mother listened as the sounds outside gradually subsided. They knew that all the warriors had sacrificed themselves. The prince did not cry. His mother told him that if they shouted, someone would come to save them. But the prince stopped her, knowing that if they were discovered, they would die. At that moment, he became a true prince. Tamacha finally captured the city and set it ablaze. He thought he had avenged his father, not realizing that this victory brought no glory, but instead turned the small city into an eternal legend. Although Kozelsk fell and Batu ordered the killing of all its inhabitants, he never found the young prince. The 12-year-old boy vanished without a trace, becoming a mystery forever. After the war, the surviving Uliba and Daria ambushed the traitor Tryasla and his accomplices in the forest. Uliba mercilessly killed them, avenging his fallen comrades. He and Daria, with hope for the future, journeyed into the distance.